Hello, Jess Too Good here. Today we're taking a look at one of the LEGO Avengers Endgame sets, the War Machine Buster with 362 pieces, 4 minifigures, and it retails for $35 in the United States. I got this from a hookup at Texas because apparently they're having them at Targets there. Let's take a look at the minifigures. Here is War Machine. You can see he has his Quantum Realm suit, which is the torso and legs that are found in a lot of the Endgame sets. I actually really like the printing on them. Also 2 stud shooters, one for his arm and then one for the thing attached at his back, which does use a clear neck attachment, pretty common piece at this point. Now if you don't know how stud shooters work, you just press down here and stud goes flying. I don't know if I'll ever find that one again. But this helmet design is new. Now let's compare it to the latest War Machine, the one from last year's Infinity War Bricktober pack, which is admittedly much more detailed in this version, but he isn't wearing the Quantum Realm suit. They both use the same face print, which actually makes me kind of sad because I thought this one from the Bricktober pack would be exclusive, but no. Unless you, I guess, count the chalkiness of my version as a little bit different from the face print. With all the gear removed, you could get a better look at the torso. And yeah, like I said, same face print in the front, as well as the same alternate face. In my opinion, it could have been a cool way to just give an alternate facial expression or whatnot. But I guess this is good for those who weren't able to get the Infinity War pack. And you do have just this really nice display going on the back of the face print. Love what's going on here as an alternate face in general. And that was something I really appreciated from the Infinity War Bricktober pack. There's the Ant-Man minifigure, which is probably my standout minifigure of the set. I love how they use this piece that they used for Firefly from the DC line for Ant-Man's helmet. I think it just fits perfectly. I mean, it would also fit for the Wasp as well. But the design of it just looks great with the printing at the front. Compare it to last year's Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man, and it does look a lot more accurate. Now, it doesn't have the dual molding that helmet had where you could see his eyes. It's just that the glass is actually printed on, so you can't see through this helmet. But underneath, he does have the same face from last year's Ant-Man and the Wasp set. They even give you a little hairpiece if you want Scott to have his hair showing without the helmet. And at the back, he has that same alternate expression right here, which apparently this was originally from the LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean Silent Mary set, which I didn't know at first. But that's really it for the exclusive minifigures, because you have this build for an Outrider that is the same from that Captain America Outriders Attack Endgame set with that newer shoulder pad piece. Kind of wish they did something more unique here, but it's still kind of a cool looking Outrider in general. And the final minifigure is the same build used in the Captain America Infinity War set, as well as some of the other Infinity War sets, where you have these little pieces at the back attached to our newer neck attachment that was made what seemed to be specifically for the Outriders. If you're wondering what his back printing looked like, well, it's the same torso as the last guys, so nothing too different there. The War Machine Buster has a really nice color scheme to it with the gray and the red and the silver. That just adds to a more unique look than last year's Hulkbuster from other Hulkbusters released in the LEGO line. And you can compare the two and see that this new one is a lot more weaponized with these back features right here. And they're not just a simple palette swap. This build is almost completely different. I would say the most similar parts are the arms and the center cockpit, which does have this nice printed dome piece, much like last year's. You can lift that up. Also lift this part right here, which does have a similar build to last year's. And you fit War Machine inside there. But if you remove War Machine, they actually have a whole row of extra studs that you could add to the stud shooters of the set. And trust me, there's a lot of them. I also just love how this is built right here, which is unique to this version, where they use these mini ball joints and they have these what were originally gold bar pieces. And it kind of gives a curved look just by positioning it in a certain part with the miniature ball joints. Also some stickers on the side right here, as well as stickers at the top, which are almost obscured by these new weapons added to the War Machine Buster. And those weapons are some of the biggest differences to this set, where there's this Gatling gun-like build, as well as push missile, which push missiles have been making a return in the last 2 years. Both are on mini ball joints so that you can position them in different ways if you don't want them just facing forward. And that gives a lot more play to the set. And if you want to use this rapid stud shooter, just twist this part back here, and studs just went flying everywhere. And if you want to use these flick missiles right here, give them a good flick, Oh, that was actually a really good flick for once. I'm so thankful for all those extra studs because I lost some just showing off those play features. But there's even more stud shooters. The stud shooters on the arms are actually from the War Machine minifigure. When you put him in the cockpit, he won't fit if you have these stud shooters on. So they have a little slot for you to add them on too. And these arms right here can rotate at the shoulder joint. And that really gives all the rotation, but there's not too much else. There's a shoulder pad here, which has a sticker, and that's clipped on, so you can move that up and down. But I kind of wish there was more rotation to this middle joint right here. But all they do is they put a wheel piece so that you could rotate this whole arm, or sorry, this hand. But you're always stuck in this position where it's almost an L shape for the arms. I think this is one section where the Hulkbuster from last year was superior, because there's a ball joint between the hand and this arm right here. But in this version, like I said, it's always forced to be in this L shape, which isn't the best when you're trying to get some different poses. I still appreciate that there is a way to rotate the hands at least, and inside the hands they even have this little bumper piece to kind of illustrate maybe a blaster or whatnot, and of course you could move each of these individual fingers. The same build is on each arm, so there's not too much of a difference there. They even have the same part where you put that other stud shooter from the War Machine minifigure. Same stickered part at the shoulder, which this whole panel can be moved up and down since it is on a clip. And the only ball joint there is once again at the shoulder where you could rotate it 360 degrees and whatnot. As for the legs, you have some joints at the top of the legs, which are on these little sockets, so you can get some rotation there. It's the same type of joints that they use at the top of the Hulkbuster from last year's legs. And then you have the same area of joints right above the feet, so you can get some nice rotation and poses there. Very interesting part in this set are actually these shoulder pads right here, which I think are a new piece. At least in this color, they haven't come in any other sets. I've never seen these before, where they have two pole connections right there, and they're this hard plastic. It's actually a really neat piece. They make you put some stickers over it, so that might not be a piece you want to put stickers over because it could be used in different settings. I love the shaping on it as well. Also another sticker right at the groin area, and you have some stickers which are the same stickers used at the top of the neck with these little leg parts right here. Not too much going on. I like how they build this up though, where they actually have this part that's clipped on. They also have these little, I guess, edge parts that are clipped on as well. Just a really clever build, in my opinion, for the little feet. But that is it for the legs. And finally, another thing that's a step up from last year's is that this looks good from all sides. Like from the side right here, you can see a little bit of detail on the legs and such. But from the back, this looks much more complete than last year's version, where you had a lot of studs, or sorry, just bottoms of studs and bricks showing. This looks very smooth at the back, which I really appreciate. There's none of that clunky kind of rotation feature they had at the back of last year's version. And it's just a better display piece overall, in my opinion. But that's it for the build of the set. Let's take a look at the packaging and the final verdict. The box for this is the same box size as the Hulkbuster from last year. And the back does show some play features. Also adore the side art right here, which has minifigure versions of the characters from the front. And the instructions for this set are a little bit lengthy, and at the end we do have an ad of the other Endgame sets, but we're still missing 2 of them here. So I think the build is just fantastic in general. There's so many parts that make it feel unique and fresh, even though it's 1 year after the regular Hulkbuster from the Infinity War line. The minifigures included are a great Ant-Man, a great War Machine, and I kind of wish there was something different than the Outriders or maybe another exclusive minifigure for $35, but it's not a big deal in my opinion because at least the Outriders are something you could really army build. So as a whole, I would rate this one an A. I really recommend it for $35, and it might be my favorite of the Endgame sets. Granted, I still got to build the other 3. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.